Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Another edition of the Detour Live podcast. I'm your host, Dan Jones, and joined by John Trevorrow, who's chewing gum. What are you doing, John? Trying to be hip.
Just a lolly, just finishing my sugar hit.
Oh, right. Geez, never dull day at the Tour de France, mate. It was pretty stressful, particularly if you're in the Jumbo Visma camp.
Oh yeah, pretty horrific actually. You had those protesters, and that's where I try to clear them up, and that's exactly where it happened. So it obviously had an effect. They wouldn't show much from the TV. They were trying to not highlight the protesters' message, but it obviously affected them. Yeah.
And the decision for Roglic to withdraw before the start. He got through this stage before. He's obviously carrying an injury from the stage 5 Roubaix stage. But you got the yellow jersey.
Mate, he wouldn't be. It's not a niggle, mate. He wouldn't be pulling out if it was a niggle. It's serious. He's a tough nut, and they're close. So he wouldn't be doing that. So we shouldn't be doubting him. He's too professional, too good a bike rider for us to doubt him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, there you go. But look, look. Let's talk about the positives. The positive of that was finally a stage win for Jasper Philpsen.
Yeah, that's
who
right.
I'm a big fan of, and I really get irritated when people sort of knock him. Oh, he's not quite there. They wrap up his teammate who didn't ride in this one, but I think he's class, and he's been just pipped a few times. He does everything right, does great lead outs for the others, and finally he got it. And he was good too. He flew past.
Oh, yeah. And
very, very good.
Isn't it funny when you show aggression in those sprints and take the lead, like that move he did with, 200 meters to go, showed the initiative, wasn't waiting.
Right, into that corner. Yeah.
Mads
was good too. Mads took it by the throat as he always does, but the other two just picked him over the side. But no, Wout wasn't getting him. There's no worry. Jasper was the sprinter of the day. I saw Dylan. It was a big effort lead out for Dylan by Mezgits, and got him to the front, but probably a fraction early. But sometimes you just can't do anything else. You can just only go there then hope he feeds on. So he did everything right, but when he tried to get on, they just too many went past him. He was obviously nailed because it was so hot. Everyone handles it differently, and you can't make any mistakes in that. Probably just got that fraction far back, and that was it. There's nothing you can do about that. But he was in the mix. And he's got 2 more chances to go. So, big chance, actually.
Jason Cruz from the Maldives raises a good point. The motos were out of control at several times. Did it affect bike exchange as they had to chase even harder? Particularly in that final there, when the guy from Cofidis was off the front. Was it Thomas?
Yeah.
He was pulling time on the full bunch. With 1.8k to go. And I get it, local Frenchman. But still, you've got, if he had won the stage and he's pulled time in the finale, it's like...
only got him in the last 500, and there's no doubt he was getting help from the bikes. Not whether it was intentional, I don't know, but you're not going to knock it back if it's there. You're going to chase that bike down. But it made a difference. And the wind was in their favour too today with the tail side. It was very quick. But, it was funny, with the SBS guys were talking about what's Wout doing, And in the end, the DS went up and said, hey, we need help back here. So, okay. Much bloody power. So much power. It's scary, actually.
Well, we caught up with a heap of riders before the start, as always, and Caleb Ewan had some very choice words about what happened on the stage yesterday, particularly with Pogačar. So even after the interview, the guy from Danish newspaper said to me, he goes, I've never heard Caleb talk like that. That was bloody great.
That sounds more Swedish, but close.
It's all. What do they call? What's the word to wrap it up? That
Scandinavian. Scandinavian.
Yeah. Mate, it's been a long tour. All right, here's the pre-race interviews from stage 15. Jasper Philpsen, looks like a great stage for yourself today, mate.
Yeah, it looks like a nice stage. Let's hope we can go to the finish line in a winning position.
And how hard has the tour been, given that you just haven't had many opportunities for the bunch sprints?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I knew the chances would be there in the last part of the tour also. So like last Friday, today, and next week there are also still two chances.
Good luck today, mate.
Thank you.
Chris Hamilton, another day working for Roman Bardet. How you feeling, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty toasty today, though.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah, I think, we've had some pretty hard days this week, so I think the bunch is kind of, I get the feeling everyone's praying for an easier day today, but yeah, you never know. There are also pretty hard roads out there, so.
We were talking to Caleb Ewan just before, and he was quite vocal about, he was upset with what happened early in the stage yesterday, with Pogačar making an attack. And how is it for you guys, when you're trying to protect your position on GC?
Yeah, it was pretty unexpected. I think, I was sort of with Roman, and I could see where he was, I could see where the yellow jersey was, so I thought, this is okay, like the guys fight at the front for the break and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think anyone expected Pogačar to go, so that caused a bit of a scramble, and it ended up being a pretty hard start.
Is it just proved that this GC battle, it's raced unlike anything we've seen in a long time? It's pretty unpredictable when things like that are going to happen.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, I mean, I guess whatever intention he had yesterday, it seemed to have worked because Vingegaard was lucky he had Wout there, because I think he didn't have any other. He was pretty isolated after that, so it was definitely not over.
Absolutely, and from an Australian perspective, must have been pretty exciting to see the rider Michael Matthews yesterday.
Yeah, I was really happy for him. And to finish, I was in a group with Schultze, and he said, he told me, he's like, Bling solo on the climb, and then it was Bettiol. So I was just getting the information he was getting from the radio, so I was really happy to hear that he won.
And looking forward to a well-deserved rest day tomorrow, mate. Obviously, you've got to get through today, but it's just been frantic, this tour so far, yeah? It
has, yeah. Very much looking forward to it. Hopefully the hotel has air conditioning, and we can relax.
And good Wi-Fi.
That's also important, yeah.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job, mate, and all the best today.
Thank you.
Massive scenes yesterday for the team, and today obviously looks like a stage could be suited for yourself.
Yeah, we have to see in the race, but we want control, and that are not a really strong breakaways going. We have to look for that, and we have to watch out, and then we have to see how it's going on the last climb, also with the heat, but that's what you know in the race, and we have to see.
How are you feeling your climbing legs? I mean, it's been bloody hot as well.
It's a really, really hard tour until now, and not the best tour for the sprinters, but I have already my stage win, and now we have another one with Bling. So already two, and the tour is not over yet, and for sure we want another one.
All the best for today, mate.
Thank you.
Reinhard, you've done a mountain of work for our little friend Caleb Ewan. How's he holding up, and how are you doing?
Yeah, I think Caleb had a hard day yesterday. He was struggling a bit with the crash. At one point it looked like he was going to have to abandon, but then after the break went, we worked it out that we can still keep him in the race. So we brought him through for another day, and hopefully he recovers. We'll see today. Today is a sprint chance, 50-50, so we see how it goes.
The Tour de France is stressful enough, but how much more stress does it add when the GC teams are boxing on right from the gun yesterday?
Yeah, no, I think the script is really flipped with the young guys nowadays. Pogačar doesn't really follow the old methods anymore, so I think he's actually getting quite desperate already. The hardest stages are behind him, and he's got a gap to make up, so I think he's trying to take every opportunity he can, but it makes it hard for us.
And your plan of attack in the final there, it obviously is a great day for the sprinters. What are you sort of expecting? And given that the sprint, it didn't come back for a sprint a couple of days ago, do you think that the teams will be not letting a break get too much time today?
Yeah, we'll see. It depends on the other sprint teams, what they want to do, quick step, opposite, and bike exchange. If they want to go into the breakaway, then it will be hard. It's not an easy finish again with, I think, 10K climb at 4%. But it's still 50Ks to go, so it could still come back everything for a sprint, so we'll see.
Well, you've been doing a great job, mate, and all the best today.
Thank you very much.
Caleb Ewan, obvious question, how are you feeling, mate?
Pretty tired, sore, but yeah, I think everyone's pretty tired and sore, so same boat.
Oh, exactly. Is it made this race tougher, the fact that there just hasn't been that many opportunities for the bunch sprints?
Yeah, I mean, it's stage 15 now, there's been 2 sprints.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, as a sprinter, it's quite frustrating, but yeah, it is what it is, and today should be a sprint, I hope, and stage 19 and 21, so I think there's still some more opportunities to come, but yeah, it's hard for the sprinters, I think.
I mean, it's hard enough to get through stages when you are carrying a bit of an injury, but you know, when the GC teams are lighting it up from the gun, what's going through your head in those moments?
Oh, just think to myself, they're pricks. It's like, I mean, I don't know what a guy like Pogacar's doing, jumping in a break. You know, I think it's just riding with arrogance. He knows he's not going to go anywhere. He knows that Jumbo are just going to control him. So, I mean, when I'm out the arse by myself and I hear that Pogacar's jumping in breaks, I just think like, oh, what are you doing? But anyway,
yeah. And I've got to ask you, Michael Matthews' win yesterday, as a fellow Aussie, and you know him quite well, does that give you a bit of a lift?
Yeah, right. I mean, his win was super impressive. You know, he won solo. He's kind of a sprinter, but yeah, we know Michael can kind of do everything. So yeah, that was a very impressive win by him. And yeah, of course, you know, there's two stage wins in the tour now for Aussies, and I'm hoping I can add a third.
Well, we wish you all the best, mate.
Cheers.
Congratulations. You're the winner of the Rider today from SBS Sport, mate. It's a limited edition. You got a badge in the ear in the works. Mate, what an emotional win as well.
Yeah, it was a big day. I think we knew it was going to be a bit of a gamble going early, but it was my best option to win. And I had Maddie in the radio, Maddie Heyman in the radio, talking me through it, giving me pointers of where a good point would be to go, and yeah, found that good point, and it worked out.
What was going through your head in that last climb when it looked like, oh, can you hang on? What gave you that motivation, mate?
I knew the climb quite well. I did a lot of recon in the morning, also the night before, to yeah, know where I needed to be at the right time and how to pace myself. I think with my experience now over the years, I know what I'm capable of doing, and I knew when Bettiol came across to me, it was at least a 20 to 30 second gap that he had to ride across. So I was pretty confident that I could stay with him over the top there, and yeah, I was able to do it.
And mate, must have been amazing scenes last night with the team.
Yeah, it was special. Last year's Tour de France didn't work out so well, and the last time I was able to win a stage in the Tour with this team was 2016, so it's been a while, but no, it was really special.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
I'll give you a bit of an insight what happened in the mix zone. So normally when you win the stage, your team is presented last, and it's a cluster because you can't go to the buses anymore. So normally I'd like to go to the bus an hour and a half before they sign on. Yeah. When they first arrive, get the chat like what we did with Clarkey. But being like what happened with you at the Giro, remember when you were in security guard and you were late for 3 days in a row and it caused massive dramas?
Oh, that's all exaggerated, but go on.
Okay. Lee goes up, does the sign on. They're already sort of pressing for time because the stage is going to start in 10 minutes. World media there waiting for him, and he rides off, and I think he was putting sunscreen on or whatever, and then he comes back and it was a cluster there trying to get a grab, but yeah, so we got that, and then Caleb's insight with Pogacar.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah,
mate. It was classic because for someone like him, when you hear in the radio that the leaders attacked, it would have been a nightmare. And trying to fight to stay on. Obviously, he's carrying that niggle, and when the pace really lights up, trying to go into those sort of 5% energy brackets. I mean, it must be really difficult.
Yep. Yeah, no. Look, you can see he's struggling, and it'd be a real shame if he can't snaffle a stage win. But he's not. The trouble at the moment, he's tired. So even if he gets the finish, he's got to be sort of get it all together and get his best sprint up, because these guys are going, and the tougher sprinters are really starting to get going. So, yeah, interesting. He's got 2 stages to go, 19 and 21. So, yeah.
Benjamin Foxcroft says, "Morning, boys. Dan doing a great job with all the chats. Great stuff. Bike Exchange. Jago, how many more wins in the last week do you think?"
Well, I think Michael Matthews has a really good chance on the next stage, which is the one after the rest day. Carcassonne to Foix, and very good chance. Two Cat 1s, but we know we can get over them if he gets in the right break. It depends on our mate Pogacar if he's going to keep chasing things down. But it's not really a stage for the GC guys, because the last Cat 1 is about 30k to go, nearly 27k from the finish. So it's not going to be for them. So it's got a really good breakaway. Michael gets in that big chance for that. Also the same with Schultze, he'd be a chance there. And then there's another one. I think it might have been. I'll have a look. Might be stage 17 or
I'm just
18.
downloading that. There's the profile for the stage. I just downloaded it then.
Yeah.
So there's those 2 Cat 1s that you're talking about going into Foix.
Yeah, they're in the finale, so it's going to be tough men. So you get a break goes and gets a good gap, which should happen. Then the way he rode, to win 2 days ago,
he can do it.
He can hold any one of those people, other than the GC guys who won't be there, the main climbers. He's got a big chance of holding anyone else over those, and then winning at the finish. So,
and do you think that what's happening with Jumbo, guys like Walt Van Aert and that, then they're not going to be in the break?
No, not at the moment. I don't think so. Exactly right. They're now another 2 men down. Kruijswijk, is such a strong rider and broken collarbone. And of course, Roglic, that's a huge hit. So now suddenly we've got saying that Pogacar really didn't have only slim chance for him to get this race back, because he was a couple of men down. Now it's back.
Yeah.
to an even ball, very much an even ball game, maybe slightly in the Pog's favour. So
do you think that, say that attack, they're saying, oh, why did he do it? It was only kind of come back anyway. I think that's just a mental game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
He knows it was going to come back, but it was to put the pressure on and to make them unstable and don't allow them to have any predictability about what he's going to do. So they're always stressing, or they're always under the pump.
Yeah, I would have liked to know what was going through our mate Vingegaard's head after he had that small crash and then flipping the bike and thinking, of course they didn't do the wrong thing. They let it all come back together. But
it's a mental battle now.
Very much so, and we've got some wonderful, stages 17 and 18 are going to be absolutely monsters.
We've got a few more live.
Really good stuff.
I'll download those in the break, and we can deep dive the rest of the stages. Andrew has got a live question. Dan, how's the energy levels for the final week? Starting to feel a bit dusty yet? Nah, we're fine, because we're mainly doing the starts. I think if I was doing the starts and finishes, when we went to Alpe d'Huez, for example, we didn't get to the hotel till just before midnight. And you feel for a lot of the crews that have to do starts and finishes, because their days are just epic. So I think it's going to save us in the long run. Wendy Superfan, hi guys, great work, Dan. Thanks, Wendy. Andy Matthews, hi guys, congrats on more wonderful interviews. Does if Jerry and Bike Exchange are talking to Bling about next year? Seems that he's looking at offers from other teams.
Not really. I mean, of course, they look at offers from other teams. Their managers would be definitely be something wrong with them if they weren't looking at the best. But he wants to stay. He loves it there, and it might just be a little bit extra on the end, I guess. But look, he's on a very good deal, and they've looked after him. They're going through a tough year last year. There's a lot of love on both sides, so I don't believe Bling will be going anywhere else.
All right, well, watch this space. We'll have a quick drinks break. We've got plenty more live chats to get through, and we've got Jasper Philpsen's interview post-race, so stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange, absolute legends, massive supporters of this show. Go to bikeexchange.com.au if you need road bikes, mountain bikes, any bike accessories, and if they've got a sale on e-bikes.
They've got a fantastic deal on e-bikes. That's a ripper. But no matter where you are, not just in Australia, anywhere in the world, just no matter if you think you've got the right deal at the bike shop down the road, fine. Just jump on bikeexchange.com and check out what's around you, and they'll offer you the best deals around. All
right, we'll get through a few more of these live comments, and then I've downloaded all the stage profiles as well, Iffy, so we can have a look at those. Pushka says, "Hi guys, caught you live after a long time. Hope you're all doing well. Great to see you live, mate." Andrew Morton makes another good point. He said, "Could it be even possible that at the highest elite level of an extreme endurance sport that the athletes could be in a hotel without air conditioning? Imagine the other sports getting the same treatment." It's a good point because, it was 40 degrees yesterday. It was stifling heat. I mean, we're staying at Carcassonne, and it was a K from the finish. We're like, it's too hot. Like, let's just watch it in the AC and just cool the jet so you don't cook the biscuit. But for the riders, I mean, you go through a massive stage like that, and then you get to a hotel and you're struggling to sleep because it's too hot. I mean, teams are going to have mobile aircon units, I think, and just
the challenge. Well, I can remember Stewie O'Grady having his own little aircon unit that he used to take around with, just a little one to take around because he couldn't handle the humidity, and a lot of the hotels you get. So how it works, the problem you go to these smaller towns, there's only so many good hotels. They're going to get all of these teams into all the different hotels. So you got and all the staff, whatever. So it's a mix. So normally you'll get a couple of bad hotels, and then you get a couple of good hotels. They supposedly treat everyone the same, whether you're Ineos or whoever. So everyone gets the same.
It's an average system with a star rating. So they want to average the stars out over the course of the
Exactly right. So there's just not enough hotels with air conditioning. That's the typical thing in France. The small 3-star hotels didn't have air conditioning. Now it's happening more and more, but lots of hotels don't. And as we heard Magnus Court complaining, he kept not getting it. And then evidently he got COVID and had to go. And the next night they had a fantastic hotel. But anyway, that's Murphy's Law, isn't it?
Jason Cruz doesn't miss a beat over in the Maldives. He says Trek also did a lot of work in the last 50K. Would have they been better off saving this for the lead out for Mads Pedersen? With a complicated finish, could this have made the difference? I think a lot of the teams were probably freaking out that the break hadn't come back a couple of days earlier. So they were all going to commit to pull it back.
Yeah, look, Jason, he would one more guy going a fraction further might have been right, but he's a good long lead out man anyway. He ran a pretty good sprint. But if Trek didn't join in with Alpecin and Bike Exchange, they wouldn't have got them. Only got him 500 metres to go. Now I know we had a little bit of help from the motorbikes in the last kilometre or so, a couple of K. But now without Trek joining the fight, they wouldn't have got him.
Carolyn Harbeck, fellow Sale resident, she says great interviews. Pushka says Jumbo should have never let Roglic leave. He is the bad luck sponge of the team, sacrifices himself for others. Look what happens as soon as he leaves. Some kind of hoodoo haunting Jumbo at Tour de France. Yeah, I mean, he must, if he makes a point, he must be severely hurting and feels that he can't contribute. But, geez, if he can get through the stage, I just would have pushed as hard as I could. That's just me.
Well,
anyway.
I'm sure he would have too. I'm sure it's a type of injury that would have only made it much worse. So, that's what it'd be about.
Sally wants to know, now that Jumbo's numbers are down, do you think Ineos will make a move on yellow?
That's an interesting one. I don't believe Ineos can win this tour. I just when the crunch comes on the hills, on the big mountains, there's always just two men there. There's Vingegaard and the Pog, and that's the fact. So one of them is going to win. Hey, Ineos is a seriously good team, and they've got numbers. They will try something. So you're dead right. They are going to. I don't think they can win, but I'd be very disappointed if they didn't give it a real good shake, and they will.
Will Wizard, always good insights. He says, Andrew Morton, it's France, and air conditioning has never been previously a priority. It's been heating up, and the Rugby Soccer World Cups had the same problems with hotels. So it's a combination over here. And Jan Boardman, she was in Carcassonne. Out of these guys riding the heat, I'm struggling after a 10-minute walk. Exactly. It was sweltering.
She's too busy doing all the washing. She's doing all the team's washing as well.
I've got to say, because we're in Carcassonne, we went and had a look at the old city, and you could do like a night tour. It was one of the best things I've ever done. It was incredible. They take you with the headphones to all the ancient parts, and mate, incredible.
A great little hotel in there called the Hotel Adelaide.
Oh yeah,
in the old city. Yeah, that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. We've got another live comment from Francesco. He says, I think Menzies is going to give it a try on the break tomorrow after the rest day and hope for more time gains.
Yeah, now that he's into the top 10, they're probably not going to let him get too much time again.
And Tom Maloney says, great to see if he's travelling better today. Was a Blings win that sent you overboard.
All good, Tommy.
All right, here was Jasper Philpsen's emotional interview after winning stage 15.
8 times in the top 3, so many times second again this year in Calais. You finally win your stage of the Tour de France. It must be a relief, of course, but mainly a massive happiness for you.
Yeah, it makes it super unbelievable. I know what's losing like in the Tour de France. I was close many times. But yeah, that it worked out today, it's incredible. I cannot believe.
Did you immediately realize when you crossed the line that you had won?
Yeah, I knew that. I felt Wout was coming close, but I also knew the finish line from last year, and we got boxed away a little bit before the final corner, and I knew it was not long anymore after the last corners from last year. So I knew I had to make some positions good, and then it was good that I could pass Mats.
What happens in your head when you realize there's an explosion of joy?
Yeah, it's just too many things at the same time, and it's been a lot of I'm not gonna cry on television, but it's been a massive search for this victory, and we worked really hard for it, and I'm just super proud that we can finally finish it off after a tough tour. we had to wait until stage 15 with the team, and yeah, everybody still believed that was possible, and yeah, I'm super happy.
The dream of our life. The dream of our life, no?
Yeah.
And to beat guys like Wout, like Mats, that must mean even more.
Yeah, I knew I knew I had good legs, but yeah, we just had to wait until the right moment and the right opportunity, and today there was a day.
Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
Sink the joy in.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic
Very
emotion there.
Very emotional. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we've got the rest of the stage profiles. If he, it looks like, you know, stage 16, 17, 18 are going to be the Pog's best chances to pull back time. So after the rest day, they're going to come out from the guns firing. We showed the profile for stage 16, but then you look at stage 17. You know, you've got 3 Cat 1s and a Cat 2. What are you expecting when we get to?
I think this is an all-out day for Pogačar, because it's not a really tough fit. Looks a long climb. It's not real steep, but it's a climb. So I think he'll be doing something on the climb before, up the Col du Val-Loren, and he really needs to, and it'll maybe even start even further back. They've got the Aspen, and then you know, it's a tough day. And they're all Cat 1s and not HCs, but they're, you know, the last half of the stage is just either climbing or descending and straight back up again. So there's no real recovery. So it's going to be an all-out battle, and because the next day is the last chance, and it's you know,
this one, stage 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
this is the big one.
So, yeah. So you got the Orbisk, and then the finish up the Hors de Camp. So that is a monster day. And you know, if he hasn't broken him the day before, this will be something else.
And then stage 19, that's obviously one for the sprinters. 145 Ks, relatively flat. And then you've got your time trial here, Iffy, which you've talked about for a while now, which the Pog should pull back, a minute or so?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? If you go on their normal formula time trial, you'd say about that. It's what condition each rider is in on the start of that day. And if one's having a bad day, he could grab close to 2 minutes. I can't see him going 2 minutes 20. So he's got to take at least a minute of that away.
What's the time if there's what's the time gap going into that time trial where you go, wow, this could come down to literally seconds?
Yeah, I'd say a minute and a half. As they say, you know, a lot of the riders put that yellow jersey on them and they fly in a time trial, but and it's a dead flat one, so there's no doubt that Pogačar is, you know, probably a minute better. Although there's no doubt that Vingegaard is improving, because you look at the time trial, that short one at the start of Denmark, there was only seconds in it between them. Now, okay, it's only, what was it? It was 17K or whatever, or less. Yeah. But
he was fresh then, as you said. Yeah,
well, they both were fresh. Yeah. They're both fresh. Yeah, they both got their challenges. But yeah, look, we're all just throwing numbers up in the air, aren't we? But I just, there's no way that Vingegaard is going to completely collapse and lose 2 minutes 22. So he's got to pull back a fair whack of time at a minute, and he's got to back, and he's got to catch a minute 22. You'd still favour Vingegaard at that, but you'd say, gee, this could be close. And anything less than that, you start to go in the Pog's favour. So wonderful to see. The difference you've got, though, when you're chasing, that gives you a slight advantage. You get numbers, but that can cause you to blow. If the Pog starts real early and you're going hard and you can just crack. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
And as we've seen, like, obviously it was a steeper finish when the Pog lost time, but you know, it was about 4K to go, 5K to go when he cracked and ended up losing 3 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it can literally on stage 18 come down onto the last climb with 5K to go, and if Jonas goes into the red, anything can happen.
Oh yeah,
He's
there's no doubt.
isolated, so.
No doubt. Oh, it's going to be two. It's been one of the great Tours de France, no doubt, and it's shaping up to be, an absolutely, amazing finale.
All right, Noel chimes in about the hotels. He says, "Don't go to towns with hotels without air conditioning. It's simple, Dan. Riders first. The sport needs riders to finish."
Well, then you wouldn't be doing a Tour de France because it's impossible to go around in sections of France and get enough hotels with air conditioning for the riders.
So they'll just do laps around Paris for 3 weeks.
Well, they would. You'd have to go Paris to Bordeaux to Lyon to major cities like that. A few down in Provence. We'll find a few down there. But so they're just. That's the thing with rural France.
You'd like to know, Iffy, tomorrow night we're staying in Lourdes, your favourite city.
Plenty of air conditioning there.
Yeah, we got 2 nights. So anyway, all right. Anything you want to add before we wrap things up, Johnny?
No. It's been an unbelievable bike race. We talk about Ineos. They've still got 3 riders up in the top 10. So they're going to try and start using those numbers. You've got Thomas in third, and then you got Yates in fifth, and Tommy Pidcock ninth. So they're going to start doing something. Pidcock, could be the man to go up the road, but he's a bit far. I think he's 8 minutes something down, so 8 minutes 49. But it's got some interesting scenarios. But they're the 3 teams. But the 2 strongest riders are running first and second in the bike race. But, yeah, a lot of fun to happen.
All right. Given that we won't have a lot of content from today for tomorrow's show, we might have to get a guest on. We'll have to check in with Phil Liggett or someone.
Well, Phil, I was just been texting back and forth with Phil. That would be great. We'll have a talk, do our homework after. We could even have a rest day. If you haven't got anything to do, unless if you get to the start early enough, but we might be, and you're not going to be, and you've got to go to the mix zone. So we might be able to do something with the buses in the background and the buzz. And
the problem is with the mix zone, we've got to punch all the interviews out for SBS. So as soon as
before that though,
at the village, I might be able to do something at the village and Andy Schlepp's there. So
so there you go.
All right,
I reckon it'd be worth a try. Which means we go a bit later. So I'll send a message out when we know what time we're going. Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
All right, bud. Okay, mate.
Righto. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for your support. YouTube.com/Detour Podcast. And of course, thanks again to Bike Exchange. Get on to bikeexchange.com.au. They've been great supporters of the show. So if you can support them, that'd be fantastic. We'll probably see you tomorrow. If there's any drama, stay alert on our socials. And it's going to be a massive last week of the Tour de France. So strap yourself in, guys, and there'll be plenty more to come on the Detour. See you soon.